The dopest motherfucker alive. Whoa, I gotta be the dopest motherfucker alive. Whoa, good God, I'm so great. When I walk, the whole earth shakes. I'm like,
Yo, 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 yo. What's good, peoples? Welcome back to MVP Live Show. Next bus, please. I'm your host, your boy Blunt. And it is a beautiful, beautiful Monday. Shout out to me. Did y'all see that flawless intro straight through? No hiccups or anything? What can you say, bro? I mean, I'm a professional. Nah, but y'all know how I usually fuck up on that shit, man. So it's nice to actually go through it completely without any screw ups. But let us get to the show. I got a couple of things real quick to talk to you about. I have to be honest, this weekend was a little fucked up for me. So I really didn't have a lot of time to go searching for things for you guys. But a couple of things came up. And the reason that it got like that was because Friday, when I went to go turn my AC off, I noticed that my carpet under my feet was damp. So I thought there was a leak. One of the windows or something was open, but I don't my windows are not open. So I'm like, where's this coming from? I looked in the wall, the walls from underneath the window to the floor, and there's no stains or nothing. So I'm like, where the hell is this moisture coming from? I didn't have any open bottles or anything anywhere. So I had to, I came up to the, how you say it, the summary or whatever, came with the idea it has to be coming from my AC because my AC is wall mounted. It comes with the unit, right? So I had to look under my AC, and I'm like, it's got to be the AC leaking somewhere. So I had to cut the AC off until I could get a repairman to come look at it. So Sunday, the repairman came, took it apart, looked under the AC. AC's fine. It's not coming from my AC. It's coming from where the pipes connect outside coming in. It's coming from that little spot there. So when we had that heavy storms, the water was coming in and it fucking soaked up my carpet. So I went the whole weekend without AC in my bedroom. I had this little fan that I usually have to help, circulate the air, and that's all I had. So I had a terrible, terrible weekend, man. So that's what kept me from really looking into other different things. Just this morning, I had enough time to actually look for stuff to talk to you guys about a couple of things. We're gonna go over. One is uh oddly enough, you guys you guys may laugh at this, but this has to do with MTA bus and transit. Let me share this screen so we could go over this together. Mm, There we go. Y'all ready for this? Yeah, there it is. MTA. Y'all see that? No, no, y'all don't see that. There we go. Let me change it. There we go. So it's a little fuck up. So what? There we go. This just keep popping up. I'm sorry. It's this thing that keeps popping up on my screen. This program it doesn't want to shut down. So the MTA. Can I change this? Let me see. Change it? Yeah. Let me do that. Let me do this. Let me do it like this. Yeah. See, I'm still here, but you get a better view of what I'm talking about. Let me just. Yeah. I like that view better. So my fellow MTA people, MTA sues Transit Workers Union over its challenge to disciplinary process for suspended bus operator. This story is crazy. We're gonna go over it though because it's just weird, like how this all happened. This was on the 14th. This when Ethan Stark Miller and Isabella Gallo uh, put this in what is the AM New York. And it starts off like this. Read it together, guys. Read it together. The MTA took legal action on Monday because remember this was the 14th. So on Monday, on against TW Local 100, the union representing the city bus workers, seeking to stop the labor organization from challenging a disciplinary process for one of its bus operators. In a 17-page suit filed in Manhattan Supreme Court on July 14th, the MTA Bus Company, the bus division of MTA New York City Transit, asked the court to permanently stay arbitration of a contract grievance the union had filed on behalf of one of its bus operators. So the MTA suspended the driver from duty after they were arrested and hit with criminal charges related to threats and violence, according to the filing. Following the operator's suspension, the MTA and TWU agreed that the driver must be medically cleared to return to work. Around the same time, a female co-worker provided MTA Bus Company with a handwritten statement accusing the operator in question of making physical threats against her, taking into account both the bus operator's arrest and charges, which were resolved, as well as the co-worker's statement. MTA Bus Occupational Health Services determined the operator should undergo a psychological evaluation. That's fucked up. However, however, TW then filed a grievance challenging the agency's ability to provide its medical assessment center with disciplinary information about the bus operator. The union said the MTA should not be able to send around medical documents according to the suit. Why? Let me pause it there. But why would Mac have your disciplinary action? What the fuck do they have to do with your disciplinary? Why would Mac get access to that? I'm with the union on that. So anyway, Local 100 President John Chiarillo, in a statement to AM New York, said that while it's standard for bus operators to get cleared by a medical assessment center after missing 21 days or more of work, the agency overstepped by sending their disciplinary paperwork there. I'm with them. I don't know. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong. Please correct me, but I'm with them on that. The proper place to handle disciplinary paperwork is the Office of Labor Relations, not a medical facility, Chirillo said. We were ready to proceed to arbitration as planned, but MTA Bus pulled an end run around the process and filed for a stay. MTA's suit, on the other hand, charges that the move would interfere with its ability to determine physical and mental fitness of its employees, which is required to do under state law. I mean, I'm side-eyeing that and squinting. The TW is essentially attempting to control the information provided by OHS when deciding whether an employee is fit for duty. The suit reads, the TW has no right to interfere with medical decisions about whether an applicant or employee is medically qualified to perform the essential duties of the job based on its medical standards. On its medical standard, on its medical standards. It has nothing to do with disciplinary. But I digress. Asked about the suit, MTA spokesperson Michael Cortez said the agency is not able to comment on the pending litigation. Standard answer. MTA also contends that the union has no legal right to argue about this matter in the first place and that nothing in the parties' current contract authorizes it or an independent arbitrator to second guess the agency's ability to submit information to its Occupational Health Services office to determine employees' physical and mental fitness for work. Yo, what the fuck? What the fuck, yo? This is crazy. Okay, so we got a little bit more. We'll finish it off. The TW's position is not merely unsupported, but seeks to intrude upon core managerial and statutory functions that cannot be bargained away or subject to arbitral review. Arbitral. Tomato. The MTA suit says the legal dispute comes amid continuous negotiations between Local 100 and MTA over a new 3-year labor agreement for its nearly 40,000 members. On top of that, right? So the union, which has gone 2 months without a contract, let me say that again. I don't think y'all heard me. The union, which has gone 2 months without a contract after its last one expired in May, charges the transit agency is offering it raises well below. Charges the transit agency is offering its raises well below the rate of inflation and is asking for a slew of concessions. They sure fucking on. Those include hiking health insurance. Hold up. Breaks. Those include hiking health insurance contributions. Hiking health insurance contributions. Increasing the price of emergency room visits. Increasing the price of emergency room visits. And removing members' seniority rights for choosing their routes and schedules if they spend over a month off the job. What is... Yo, they asking for blood, yo. Anyway, the union members intent on pressuring Governor Kathy Hochul into the contract that better aligns with their wishes have been picking her public events across this picketing. I know reading is fundamental, y'all. Where was I? Have been picketing her public events across the city over the past few weeks. Their actions include disrupting the governor's joint press conference with mayors around Mamdani last week, in which they rolled out their sweeping plans to boost the city bus speeds, which is another topic we're going to talk about today. But while the MTA has described the negotiations as a war, war, the MTA has said they do not even rise to the level of a Cold War. Rather, the agency assists talks remain routine and productive. So that's Ethan Stark, and that's about a guy who brought the article. So you guys, tell me. Let me remove that. You guys tell me what you think. Primo, what's good, Primo? Pressure. Blessings to you, my brother. Appreciate you. That's what I was gonna say. I appreciate you. Yeah. You guys gonna have to tell me what do you think about it? Because the fact that they trying to send their disciplinary reports to Mac so that Mac can influence their decision on if this person is fit for duty or not. What the no. No. What does that have to do with it? They want to okay, so they want to send her for psychological evaluation. Then let the psychologist evaluate her independently, not with any paperwork about her past actions and stuff. No, you're going to influence her decision. That shouldn't happen. So Mac should do their own independent search and then give their findings to the appropriate persons in the MTA, not the other way around. Because now you're trying to influence the outcome of the situation, and I think that's a lawsuit on its own. So I'm with the union on this. I hope they fight the hell out of that, and I hope they win. Win some money while you're at it. Win a better contract, because that's absolutely wrong. So going like we heard into that story about the MTA, not the MTA, Jaram Mondani's bus plan. Um, is this it? No, this one. Yeah, I'm gonna take that down. Let's remove that, and we're gonna pull up Mondani's Mondani's plan for the buses. And we don't forget later on we got our boy Alexander Kemp who's on the news. We're gonna if you haven't seen that, we're gonna go over that after right after this one. Let me add that to the screen. Hold on a second. Mamdani. Yeah, let's do that. Take off your shoe. And this is what article I came up with, which I was looking into. So it was a nice segue from that. I appreciate that. And it's what a Vic. Mamdani moves forward on the stalled Bronx busway, kicks off public engagement for a slew of Brooklyn bus projects. That's a nice tongue twister for you. So here, Mayor Zoran Mamdani is wasting no time in moving forward on his freshly revised next stop. I was about to say, bro, that's the copyright infringement. Next stop plan for making city buses faster, announcing Wednesday that he is greenlighting several projects, included in the roadmap. Chief among those undertakings will be the Bronx first busway on Tremont Avenue. Interesting. Mamdani's office said it would begin work this fall on the project, which had been shelved last year from Mayor Eric Adams' administration. The mayor also revealed that his administration will begin the public engagement process to shape proposals for 3 rapid bus corridors planned envisions for central Brooklyn's Flatbush, Utica, and Church Avenues. Hmm. Rapid bus corridors. Flatbush, Utica, and Church. If there's any avenues in Brooklyn that need it, those are certainly the three, right? So I would love to see what that looks like. Anyway, in a statement, Mamdani said once they are finished, all four projects will quicken bus trips for around 200,000 daily riders. New Yorkers should not lose hours of their lives sitting in traffic on a bus. From the Bronx to Brooklyn, we're building streets that move people instead of sticking them in gridlock, Mamdani said. These projects will make commutes faster, make our streets safer, and return precious time to nearly 200,000 New Yorkers every single day. That's exactly what public transit should do. The release last week of Next Stop, a joint city and state plan with the goal of shaving 6 minutes off bus trips along 50 priority corridors, marked Mamdani's most sweeping gesture yet toward making good on his campaign promise of speeding up city buses. However, the plan does not address the other and more controversial aspects of the campaign pledge to make buses fare free. Though he said last week he still intends to get that done. I mean, there's a lot of um, backlash he's getting from that. A lot of people, I don't know. You tell me, are you against having free fare free buses? Is that a problem for you? I don't think any bus operator would be against that, but you just don't know nowadays. People just be on their own thing, right? So you guys tell me, is that a good thing? Anyway, the Tremont Avenue effort promises to speed up commutes for nearly 39,000 daily bus riders who frequent the corridor. 72% of households living along the corridor do not have access to a car, while 78% commute to work by public transit, biking, or walking, according to the City Department of Transportation. Yeah, but 39,000 people just in that corridor? Yeah. That's why I left. That's why I moved to Staten Island. There's too many people in the Bronx and Brooklyn. Anyway, Tremont Avenue is home to the BX36. Shout out to the 36, the BX36, and the Central Crosstown route for the Bronx. But while the BX36 serves as one of the borough's few east-west transit options, it's currently languishing at speeds as slow as 5 miles per hour. That's 10 miles below um, the suggested MPH for buses. Busways, a design that restricts traffic to buses, paratransit, and emergency vehicles, and large trucks, are an effective tool for speeding up buses by clearing roadways of private vehicles they normally have to jockey with, DOT says. They have boosted bus speeds by as much as 60% across the city, according to the agency. Yeah, I agree. The project will add half a mile long busways to the stretch. One will run eastbound from 3rd Avenue to Southern Boulevard, and the other will be westbound from Southern Boulevard to Belmont Avenue. It would also include a shared offset bus and bike lane running eastbound between Webster and 3rd Avenue. The busways will operate 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. During those hours, the road would only be open to private vehicles for local access, meaning they must exit at the next available right turn. The buses will be enforced by stationary and bus mounted cameras, which will, the busways. You see how I caught that later? The busways will be enforced by stationary and bus mounted cameras, which will ticket drivers they catch obstructing the lanes as well as the NYPD. So, additionally, the DOT will add a slew of features aimed at making the road one of the Bronx's most dangerous safer. What you think that is? You think they're gonna just add speed bumps or something? No, they're gonna be adding speed cameras and shit like that to ticket you. There were 360 people injured on Tremont Avenue 20 in 2022. Between 2020 and 2024, with 46 severe injuries and 4 deaths over the same period, according to the agency. And that's just on Tremont. 630 people injured, 46 severely injured, and four got killed on Tremont. The safety enhancements DOT plans to add include painted sidewalk extensions, okay, which shorten crossings and ease vehicle speeds. Those will be reinforced by some hard infrastructure, including flexible delineators, granite blocks, and bike parking. Holy shit. Granite blocks? Boy, you hit that with your car, it's a wrap. This shit is going to be total. Especially these cars now, they basically plastic. It says, we want New Yorkers to have faith in our outreach, and that starts with actually delivering on projects promised years ago, like on Tremont Avenue, where riders deal with unreliable, overpacked buses every day, Transportation Commissioner Mike Flynn said in a statement. Okay. Just a few more, y'all. Just a few more. So in Brooklyn, shout out to BK, the city is kicking off public engagement for projects along the three corridors, which together carry roughly 150,000 daily riders along 13 routes as a pace at a pace of as slow as 5 miles per hour, including the planned right away. DOT and MTA will work together to develop both near-term changes along the three corridors that can be installed as soon as next year, while drafting plans for longer-term overhauls. The administration has said it plans to complete the rapid bus corridors on Flatbush Avenue by 2030. The design, based on the bus rapid transit model, am I saying that right? The design based on the bus rapid transit model will combine features like center running, physically protected bus lanes, and bus stations with amenities to give riders a faster and more comfortable experience. That would be interesting to see. I would love to see how that looks. To that end, the city, excuse me, excuse me. All right. To that end, the city launched an online feedback portal on July 15th, a couple of days ago, which will be live through October 31st. It will begin in-person events at 6 p.m. on August 6th. Those wishing to attend can RSVP the agency at organize.nyc.gov/fastbuses. I wonder if Rob Martinez knows anything about it, being that he's on one of the boards. Maybe he could give us some insight if he is. It will also begin surveying local stakeholders, including pedestrian, businesses, education institutions, and conduct outreach at events like open streets and block parties. The agency said it intends to unveil plans informed by the feedback this fall. We look forward to discussing the possibilities for fast buses through Central Brooklyn this year, and we develop exciting proposals for critical bus corridors in the area. Flynn said. So you know who else might be? I have some inside knowledge of that. Um, Whitaker. Whitaker might have some inside knowledge of that. So maybe I could have him on one day and we could go into that. What up? What up? What up? ABM. Yep. I mean, I think that's why they're doing that, because it needs help. So hopefully what they're planning for that will ease that. Like they said, it's what up, Pete? What's going on, Brooklyn Pete? Like they said, it's been packed buses, slow 5 miles per hour, and so many people rely on the buses over there that they need to do something. And so any plan is better than no plan. How will it work? Only way to know is to actually try it. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing how that works. Anything that's going to make the commute easier for the people of New York, especially now with all this congestion pricing, people need to leave their cars home and just take transit. But the only thing I didn't see on there was anything about making making it more accessible for people with disabilities, right? We still have to rely on a stressor ride, stress you the fuck out. And the more buses and trains that are accessible, the easier and the more options for people with disabilities, because we rather not take excessive out if we if we can help it. But there's just, you have to know what stops are accessible when it comes to the trains, right? You have to know what stops are accessible, and what bus route to take you to where you need to go. Sometimes you have to go way out your way just to get to a certain spot on a bus. So I haven't seen them address any of those issues. That's something that I would love to see them address. But let's get to this next issue, right? It's the horse and carriages. I'm not laughing at that, but the horse and carriages. I got a clip here from Alexander Kemp. If you haven't seen it, this would be a good time to watch. I'm going to share that clip, and then I'm going to give you my personal thoughts afterwards. So hold on. Let me get that set up for you guys. Okay. Y'all ready? Sure? Where is it? I lost it. No. There we go. Let's watch this, guys.
The City Council is scheduled to consider a bill that would ban carriage horses in the city. The Health Committee will hear public testimony on a bill being referred to as Romanch's Law. It's named after the 18-year-old tourist killed in an incident involving a runaway horse in Central Park last month. The bill would phase out carriages gradually before a total ban by June of 2028. It also calls for the creation of a workforce development program to support carriage drivers while they transition to new jobs. Mayor Mamdani was asked about the bill today.
We support the spirit of the bill. We are, however, critical of the insufficiencies of the worker protections, and we look forward to working with the council to address those concerns as we move forward on an important issue for New Yorkers.
We're joined now by Alexander Kemp, Administrative Vice President at TW Local 100. That is a union that represents horse carriage drivers. Great to have you with us this afternoon.
Thank you.
We do appreciate it. Such a hot topic, of course, it has been for a while. You heard from the mayor there. First, your reaction, your thoughts on what the mayor had to say.
Hot topic.
Well, I appreciate him acknowledging that there is a component of a workforce here that needs to be adequately represented and protected, and that any component of a bill that would actually remove the life of a driver's opportunity to earn a living should also be considered in any modification, any addressing any issue at the council.
You still oppose the bill, though?
Sure.
Yeah, but
1 second. I sorry to interrupt, but I have to agree with Kemp there on that. Any worker in New York City or around the country, in this country, should have adequate representation and people that's going to back them up, especially when you have something like this that's trying to phase out their job. They're still a workforce. There's still people that work, that push the carriages, that ride the carriages, drive the carriages, maintain the horses and stuff like that, and do the tours. And those people need adequate representation like everybody else. And so the fact that they're trying to systematically take out their job is fucked up. So kudos for them, for the union on backing them up on that issue. And I agree with Kemp that there is a workforce component that needs to be considered.
adding those workforce development programs, that protection in there, does that sort of sweeten the pot at all for some of the?
For us, no.
Yeah.
For us, no. Mainly because there's no real guideline on what that actually means. No one on the council has spoken about how this actually would work and what it would mean for their lives. There are several layers of the industry. There are owners, there are owner-operators, there are horse owners. There are dynamics to this industry that we represent that no one is speaking to, because the truth is that then they would have to acknowledge that their interest is to get rid of the livelihoods of these workers.
So if that conversation does take place where they lay out some of those concerns, do you see that as a compromise moving forward?
We don't, and mainly because they're using a horrific, tragic incident to satisfy the lust of NYCLASS and other agencies without ever citing one component of this industry beyond the horrific death of this young man and how they politicized it. The truth is that this industry for 167 years has been operational and has never had an incident like this before, and that there's been 28 fatalities from e-bikes and pedicabs, which if it was about a public safety component or conversation, that's where we would start at. But they're not.
But they do try to regulate, right, the e-bikes with the speeding and those types of things.
Sure.
Looking forward here now in terms of the horse carriage drivers, some might say, why not allow them to, eventually if they go to an electric carriage, for example, why not let them sort of modernize and sort of kind of move to a system, an industry that is more modern and more up to date? What do you say to those?
I would say that the industry currently, as it stands, has served the purpose that it's intended to do. It is a carriage horse industry that has been around for over 167 years. It's a staple of New York. It is built into the fabric of New York. And there are people who come here specifically for that. And to identify that because of an accident, a horrific accident, a tragic accident, I am a father, I have children, I would never want to even have to consider what that family is going through, but to use that as a linchpin to remove a whole industry when there are other components that we truly feel are behind this
In our final moments after that death last month, you did suspend horse carriage rides for the weekend. You did go through some more safety procedures and training sessions. What came of those? What does that mean now? Do you feel like so the drivers are, or the horse carriage drivers are better informed, or what's that the result of that, I guess?
I think it's kind of like with a car accident or when you get re-instructional components to your industry. If a driver makes a mistake, you give them retraining. Re-establishing what the principles are and how to safely operate that industry. Sometimes when you've done something for a long time, you can take some of those components for granted. And I think some of the things that we've asked for, again, in the sake of political expediency, I would think that there would be opportunities for them to put the posts, which we've been asking for 3 years, which if they were truly concerned about public safety, those would have been put in already, considering that even in that bill, it's a wind down period. So you would have to establish that from now until forever, until whatever reality is imagined, that they would be moving to make the industry safer because they have the ability to do that. They have public oversight. We don't. We just have the ability to respond. And we have responded. We've done it with bills. Gennaro has a bill. We have asked for more safety measures, more regulation. And again, this seems to be like an opportunity for the council to try to prove to the mayor that they can be more progressive than him.
Well, we'll see what comes with this bill now. Alexander Kemp, Administrative Vice President at TW Local 100 Representative.
Okay, so I got to give my man some credit, man. My man Alexander Kemp is a very good speaker. He's very articulate when it comes to that. You know, he has a very bright future as a politician, so to speak. My whole thing about, all right, so again, the horse and carriage situation, with all the people that's working there, the horses and like Kemp said, there are many components to that job, right? All of that needs to be covered and maintained, right? And people have to have their back. So shout out to the union for doing that. And with the, I wouldn't say aggressive way they're doing it, just, you know, the fact that they're you know, on the news about it makes it seem like it's very important, which it is. My whole thing is, my whole thing is that there are other things that they could be focused on, right? With that same intensity that they're having with this, even though I know it's because there's animals involved in this in that industry, but are the animals, and this is no shot at anybody in particular, but more at the union as a whole, are those animals more important than what's happening to the retirees and what's starting to happen to the actives when it comes to nobody texting me when I'm not doing anything. what was I saying? That when it comes to the actives with this the medical situation that's happening right now in MTA is as serious as cancer. It really is. It really is. And the fact now that they're trying to, like we read in the article earlier, they're trying to raise um, your contributions. They're trying to raise your God. Sorry, my phone is just. They're trying to raise your contributions. They're trying to raise your emergency room visits. Um, they're attacking your medical and the actives. I don't know. I don't hear any anybody complaining yet because it's still in the contract phase. This is the stuff that they're asking for. All these give backs and stuff. I've even heard somebody say how uh, some actors are telling the senior folks to just go live their life and mind their business. That they did their part in the job and they should just go away. When there are some retirees who are fighting to for you to maintain better medical coverage. Actually, um, that 2005 strike has a lot to do with that. But you guys gonna have to do your research, as they say, because I didn't talk about that till I'm blue in the face. But they're coming after you guys, the actives now. And matter of fact, I knew there was something that I forgot to do, and that was hold on, let me see if I can pull it up because it's very important that actives get involved in what's happening, especially when it comes to your fuck me, I don't have it here. I don't have it here. I always do this. There's always something that comes up later that needs to be discussed, and I need to pull up the actual paperwork, right? Not paperwork, graphic. So I have to text it to myself so I can upload it here. Where is it? Come on. Sorry. But it has to do with coming out to the meet and greet that we're having. And I'm going to post it up here so you guys can have access to it. You can screenshot it. And then, I would say, yo, come out because it's important. You guys need to come, ask questions, and find out what is going on because you are on the chopping block now. And so you need to be informed. And the best way to do that is to come to the meeting. Hold on. I'm getting it 1 second. 1 second. It's got to refresh. Hey, Whitaker, I have, here we go. Inbox. Should be here. I have, some things I want to talk to you about. When you get a chance, hit me up later so we could go over that. I think I was talking about did my phone just be acting up, man? I was talking about the Mamdani's plans for the bus routes and all that stuff. Since you are part of that boards, maybe you might have information on that you can share. Okay. See. Okay. So we need to talk later after the show. See if we could have schedule you to come on for at least next week or something like that, where we could go in depth. Because I believe you and also Martinez is a part of that board, a part of a board that might have inside knowledge to that. and I would love to have that so that we could talk about that. So here's the flyer. You guys can see that. I'm sorry, it's last minute thing. Hold on, it's last minute thing. Screenshot that. It's going down Saturday the 25th. It is, I believe that's what it is. 25th. I gotta pull it up here. Yeah. Saturday, come on. 25th. Yep. It will be at Brooklyn from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. located at 75 Henry Street in the community room when you go there. There'll be light refreshments. Come with your questions. Meet the team at TW100R Inc. and learn about your future. Learn about your future because they coming after you guys now. They already did what they did to the retirees, and they're coming after you now. So if you can't come through, I'll be there, and bring your questions. I know some of you may have a lot of questions. Some of you may not even know what's going on. If you know somebody else, one of your transit buddies that's free, bring them too. Anybody in your family that works for transit, bring them. Bring them because it's going to be one of the most important meetings we ever had. A couple of things that's going to be discussed that you guys need to know. But yeah, I mean, again, the way they treating the horse and carriage, they should be treating this medical issue. I know what they're saying is it's a non-issue. There's no there, but there is. And we're proving it all the time. We've been releasing videos after videos of people who have been complaining, and the issues are very serious. They're not just little issues. They're very serious issues that wouldn't have happened on traditional Medicare. So, I just hope that, again, like I said, kudos to Kemp for backing them up because that's a serious problem. They're trying to phase out their jobs, those people, their livelihood. So, yeah, they should be represented, So it says, yep, they're coming after Blunt. It's like there's people who have their head buried in the sand, and they need to listen. And actives going to need to take the fight. Actors are going to need to fight. And this is a good time because contracts are still in negotiation. It could be a simple thing as them just saying, yo, let's put back traditional Medicare on the table with the 20% wraparound that we reluctantly gave away. It was a mistake. Let's undo the mistake. I doubt they're going to do that, but this is a good time. But if you guys put enough pressure, who knows, anything can happen. Anything can happen. So, again, shout out to Kemp. That was very eloquently spoken. Like I said, he's very articulate when it comes to speaking. I see a very bright future as a politician for him. But I think the focus is in the wrong area. Yes, those people need their representation, but I feel like what's happening to the retirees and what's starting to happen to the actives, it just has a lot more weight to it than that, than those at this point, because it's the fact that it's affecting certain people in the worst possible way. It's alarming, I mean, we're at the brink. And I'm not. This is not hyperbole. We're at the brink of losing people because of the decisions that are being made by this Medicare Advantage plan. Not the doctors, not the hospitals. It's the plan that's interrupting things. They're the middlemen. They're the ones who are delaying and denying things. So we're at the very brink of losing people. And then when that happens, what? What are we gonna do? When it's clear, when it happens and it's clear, let me just make this clear. When it happens, if somebody passes and it's clear that it's because of this advantage, which I believe it happened in a different case of Marianne's case. I think they lost already one person behind it. Um, one person is too many. But when it happens on our end, when it's, jeez, when it's, I'm not saying this to be mean, but when it becomes one of your loved ones that passes away because Medicare Advantage decide to deny or delay the services that your very own doctor prescribed for you, then what? It's gonna be too late. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy how so many people just are not paying attention, not paying attention. But I'm gonna keep talking about it until I'm blue in the face. But like I said, y'all, this weekend was a little busy weekend for me. A couple of things happened in the crib that kept my attention from doing a full out investigation on things to talk about. Those things popped up. I thought they were pretty interesting. Whitaker, I'm gonna hit you up in a little bit. Maybe we could discuss some of that stuff about the bus routes and stuff, the new bus routes and stuff that they're planning on, the Mamdani and them planning on doing. And you guys let me know. Listen, if you enjoyed what you're watching, I don't really say this enough, man. Subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. Let your friends know about it. You know, hit the like button if you enjoyed. Or subscribe, hit the like button, and then hit the bell to be notified. You know, I come on every Monday about 7 o'clock, unless something very, very, very important comes up or I'm sick. Every Monday, 7 o'clock. But you can hit the bell still to make sure it reminds you that I'm on, so you don't miss a show. And listen, man, that's gonna be the end of my show for today. I appreciate you guys watching. You could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here, and that I will always be humbled about. And with that said, that is the end of the show. And fuck them if they can't take a joke. Peace.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.